Hey guys, welcome to Trinity's training page question of the day. Today's question, I had a gentleman call me actually this weekend and asked me not really to use his name but to answer a question. Today's question is dealing with pressure. What is the proper amount of pressure, or how do you know when you're using enough pressure on the dog? So we're going to do a little chalk time here today. So I'm gonna write pressure up here. That's what we're talking about. Okay, pressure. Okay, in my vocabulary there's three amounts of pressure. Okay, there's too little, there's too much, and there's just enough. Okay. Okay. I always want to err on the side of too little versus too much. Okay. You can always adjust from here. You have to recover from here. Okay. We try to strive for just enough pressure. Okay. When we do our training. Some of these markers is old and dried up, but we try to get just enough pressure, okay? And one way I can explain this, okay? Let's say if we got a pond here, it's a channel pond, all right? And then maybe we got a gun station right here that's throwing a mark here, and then a gun station that's throwing a mark here. And then this channel maybe comes on like this and maybe ends. And then maybe we got a blind right here at the end of this channel, all right? And then say our dog is here. I guess you can get all this in the picture, Brittany? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, this is mark 1, this is mark 2, okay? What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna get my dog ideally to go here like this and pick these marks up, 1 and 2. All right. Now, if the dog for some reason gets out and does this nature, okay, I'm gonna stop the dog right here with a whistle. I'm gonna cast them back into the water. Okay, that is a little amount of pressure. Okay, it's called attrition. We're stopping them, calling them to us a little bit, casting them into the water, showing them that we want them to be wet, okay? And we get the dog back in here and they swim down, they hook this bird, pick it up. I want them to get back in the water and come back, okay? That's using attrition, which is another form of pressure, okay? Then on the same concept, we come down here and we run mark 2. Well, our dog comes here like this, and all of a sudden they go toward this old fall. I'm gonna tweet, no, okay? And I'm gonna cast. And I'm gonna push them down the bank here and hook this bird and pick it up, okay? Whistle pressure to stop the dog, whistle, I shouldn't say pressure, whistle command basically. Tell the dog to sit. Then I'm going to give him a verbal no, cast, okay? And cast him back down the channel and get the bird, all right? Dog's going to come back here, okay? Now, that being said, if I have used too little pressure on this dog, okay? I'm going to kind of erase this stuff out right quick. If I have used too little of pressure on this dog, this is going to be my results, okay? I'm going to go over all three here. Bird 1 is thrown. Okay, we had a correction here. All right. Bird 2 is thrown. If we use too little of pressure, we can expect the same thing, okay? Stop and cast, okay? All right. That's what happens if we use too little of correction, pressure for correction here, okay? All right, this is what happens if you use too much pressure, okay? Bird 2 is thrown. you get this line, okay? All this area right in here is bad, bad, bad. I don't want to be around it nowhere. And this is what you're going to get. You're going to have to stop here. You're going to recall and then cast to get the bird, okay? That's a result of using too much pressure, okay? Sometimes people, I see them, they'll get this line, they'll stop the dog right in here, and they'll recall him all the way back to here. Well, that's almost as bad as the burn that he got right here, I think, in my mind. Okay, just trying to think like a dog. So what if he makes a mistake right here? I want to let him get beyond this hot spot area right here, okay? And that's why I let my dogs kind of come on down here, and I'm gonna stop them. I'm gonna recall just a little bit. You know, I probably exaggerated it right there. I'm probably just gonna let them get to right here. But as long as I'm beyond this hot area, I'm gonna recall them just a little bit, and then I'm gonna give them a cast and get them a chance to get that. Now that being said, I'd come right back and I would repeat this mark, and I'd probably get a line something like this, okay? And you know, I'd probably have to live with that today. That being said, you know, I've come in here and made this area a good area to be, because we got rewarded with the bird there. All right. Now that's using too much pressure when you start getting all this. And I know all this looks kind of crazy and there's lines going every direction, okay? But when you've used just enough pressure, well, let me kind of start over here. When you've used just enough pressure, you got your channel. You got bird 1, bird 2, okay? Bird 1. All right. Now say we're the same thing. Bang, pick up this bird. Come in here, and we used just enough pressure on this first one to get the correction that we showed the dog. I want you to stay off of the bank, and I want you to come in and actually, what I like my dogs to do is like them to swim past the bird and then hook behind the bird like that. Not, you know, that's ideal in training, okay? Because if they swim beyond the holding blind, beyond the bird in training, and then hook the bird, you'll find that they're going to be right here at the hunt test, okay? They're going to be on this line at the hunt test. But if you let them be on this line in training, they're going to be on this line and on this line at the hunt test. You want to kind of compensate, okay? You want them to be better than good, okay? You want to be on what I call the honest side of the bird. That channel, the bird's here. This is what we call the dishonest side of the bird. This is what we call the honest side of the bird. So we want them to be, in training, we want them to be on the honest side of the bird. Your chances of them being on the good side of the bird at the hunt test are a lot better if you keep them honest in training, okay? So that being said, I would consider this using just enough pressure. So I would be able to come back after this dog picked up these 2 birds, and I would be able to tell that dog dead bird and run a blind beyond those 2 stations and not get a bunch of bouncing off of this shore here, trying to stay away from these holding blinds. Now you might get some sucking over to the birds. That's suction, that's going to happen, okay? All you do is you just stop them and just cast them on back, and you know, you get them through. Now that's using just enough pressure, okay? So I mean, this is kind of one of the ways that I know to explain how to use pressure, you know, and how to gauge it, like in older dogs. Now, like in obedience dogs, if you're teaching sit, okay, and you come in there and you, like on your pigging string, we're giving up pressure on that pigging string, and as soon as their butt hits the ground, we're releasing the pressure, okay? Well, that's teaching them how to turn that pressure off, okay? Now, if you come in there and the very first time you tell that dog sit, you raise her front feet up off the ground, you're probably using way too much pressure, and all you're going to teach that dog is fear, okay? And all they're going to do is fear. Fear is a result of too much pressure, okay? All right. Another example on sit, when you use too little pressure, you know, you just barely pull up on it and you're having to go sit, 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 sit 4, 5, 6 times, and you're not getting any reaction out of them, okay? You're using too little pressure when you have no reaction, okay? All right, now when you use just enough, you get a change of attitude or demeanor. And I ain't no scholar. I think that's how you spell demeanor. So anyway, that's how it sounds to me, but like I said, I'm not a scholar. But you get a change of attitude or a change of demeanor. Another word for that is, you know, a change of attitude, a change of demeanor. Those are kind of the same word, but you get a change of action, okay? The dog goes from standing to sitting, okay? That's an action change, stand to sit, okay? And that's a result of just enough pressure, okay? Another example of the correct amount of pressure, and you guys have seen this in force fetch, okay? Another example of pressure is we use the ear pinch, okay? Ear pinch in force fetch, all right? When you pinch that dog's ear, you don't just go as hard as you can go to start with, okay? You want to use just enough ear pressure to get a change, okay? And if you'll watch these dogs' eyes, if you go back and look at Trinity, I mean, I applied, I haven't looked at my notebook before I started this, but I think I went to like maybe a level 2. If I was to use my thumb on a level from 1 to 10, I'd say I started out with a 2. And what I'm looking for on this ear pinch is a change in her eyes and her facial expressions, okay? You guys will have to forgive me. I did graduate high school, but it was a long time ago. Anyway, her facial expressions, I think it has 2 S's in it. But anyway, that's what we're looking for when we use ear pinch. Now, that's when you get this, you're using just enough, okay? Again, when you're using too little, you get no reaction, okay? And all you're doing is you're just spinning your wheels right here on this one, okay? Now when you use too much, dog will lay down. Dog will, what we call clam up, okay, won't open their mouth. I've found this that a lot of times dogs will roll their front feet over, okay, when you're putting too much pressure. They'll roll their front feet over or under, however you want to say it. But you'll see them, they'll kind of just get all funky looking, okay? They're just trying to do whatever they can to get out of the pressure, but it's up to us to teach them how to use this pressure to turn the switch off. So anyway, that being said, I've got one more thing and then I'm gonna let you guys go and get started on these dogs. But whatever you're teaching the dog, I mean, dogs learn lots of ways. One of the ways that we teach dogs is we use pressure, and that pressure looks like this, okay? This is a light switch, all right? Switch goes up and down, okay? Pressure's up here, and relief is down here, okay? Whatever we're trying to teach is in the middle, okay? This is the task, okay? show them the task, teach the task, and then reinforce it by flipping up and putting pressure on them. But you got to teach them to turn the pressure off by completing the task, okay? I hope that answers y'all's question there. Guys, I appreciate you calling in and you know, letting me explain pressure to you the way I think about it. If it doesn't help, then call me back and we'll work on it some more, okay? But this is kind of the way that we know to explain pressure. So I hope this helps you. You guys stay tuned. I'm gonna go get Trinity and get her going.